So, one of the things we want to do when we start to learn a new language is to acquire new vocabulary and as fast as possible. But the problem is that there are some effective ways to do it and some not very effective ways. And today I'm here to give you some tips on how to acquire vocabulary that is more consistent inside your brain and that you can apply into your day-to-day English learning routine. I strongly recommend that you combine all of them so you can get the most out of the process. Hey, name is Natalie, and without further ado, let's go to the first option, that is flashcards. Using flashcards today is very easy. You don't have to use papers. You can also do this in your cell phone. We have some apps for that, and the one that I have used, so that I can recommend here, is Ankidroid. So you can have that in your cell phone. And the principle, for example, the Ankidroid, is that you can organize the words in groups. So for example, you can have a group of verbs in English, or English expressions, or French, English, Italian. You can have different groups which you will register several flashcards with the words and the meaning. It's good for you to remember this vocabulary and keep up every day with each and every single word. And the advantage of this method, especially when it is in your cell phone, is that you can check out words when you have just some free time, when you're in the bus or something like that. You can read the words and revise all of them. But the disadvantage of this method is that when you start to have a very long list of words, and if you don't practice them, if you don't use in your day-to-day, you probably will forget them. So try to apply every single one, or at least the most of the words that you register in your flashcards, and in the same day or in the same week or in the first opportunity that you have when you have a conversation with someone, when you write an email, so you won't forget the meaning of the word. Another interesting thing as well is that this Ankidroid will show you how many cards you have studied and for how much time you did it. So you can keep track of how much time of your day you're taking to dedicate yourself to study flashcards in English. The second tip is association. Our brain has the tendency of keeping the things better, concepts, words, phrases, expressions, better when we make an association between those concepts and something that is familiar. And it might be a silly association. It doesn't have to be anything very sophisticated. I'll give you one example to make it more clear. The word scalding, for instance. It means extremely hot, but it's related to liquids. So you can make a silly association that you imagine yourself inside a volcano surrounded by lava. So every time that you listen the word scalding, or that you have to use this word, you can go to your brain and take this image, this scene, and you will instantly remember the meaning of the word. So it makes the access to this vocabulary in your brain way easier when you want to use this word in a conversation, or when you read somewhere, or you listen from somebody. You will immediately remember the meaning of the word just because of this association. Of course, it's not possible to do an association for each and every single word that we learn, but try to do that with words that are more far-fetched, that are more difficult to keep in your brain, or words that you think that will make your English more sophisticated. And before going to the third one, don't forget to leave a like if you're enjoying the tips, if you're thinking that the tips are useful for you and that you apply it. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Here in this channel, I talk about improving your English in several ways: your confidence, your communication, your listening. And we have videos every single week, so don't forget to subscribe. The third suggestion is to learn new English vocabulary with songs in English. I cannot reinforce enough how much I think is important for you to use songs to learn English. I've used it a lot and I still use it, and it's always effective. When you learn the lyrics of your favorite song from your favorite artist, I'm pretty sure they won't forget about it, because it's something that is pleasurable for you to do, and because it's way easier to keep songs lyrics in your mind than a normal text, for example. It's easier to memorize the lyrics. So you will memorize every single word of the lyrics to be able to actually know it and sing it along. And another very good point is that you have context, because songs lyrics usually sings about a topic, a story or something. So this new English vocabulary will be inside a context. So it will be way easier for you to memorize the new words and expressions when you are learning with music. Plus, it's very fun to do. And the last good way to learn new English vocabulary is by context, that I actually just talked about. But not just with music, with series, TV shows, books. For example, I learned the expression grows on you from a scene from Supernatural, where Dean tells Sam that Garth would grow on him, meaning that Sam would eventually get used to Garth's behavior and would start to like him too. It's been more than 7 years since I've learned this English expression, and so far I remember the scene, firstly because I had context, and second because my brain made this association between the scene, the context of the scene, and the expressions. So I remember, and I can use in my conversation normally because I remember.
Okay, in the uniform, go Fed. See you at the brewery in 40. It grows on you.
So always try to learn expression from movies if you have the opportunity. Even if you don't have an amazing listening, if you can watch things with subtitles. By that time I didn't have a very good listening, and I used subtitles to understand, and it helped me out a lot. And even using subtitles, I had an opportunity to learn a ton of things. So pay attention to the things you watch very closely. And if you're reading a book, for example, try to read a book that has a interesting story that you can remember about, and make an association with the context of the story and the new expression or words that you've just learned. And for sure that will be an English vocabulary that you'll be able to use later on in your conversations or when you're going to write down something. It's very effective. So if I had to rank 1 to 4, 1 being the most effective strategy to acquire new English vocabulary and 4 being the less effective one, I would say the first one, context. The second one would be the song's lyrics. The third one would be association. And the fourth one is the flashcards. So leave in the comments down below if you have another strategy to memorize new English vocabulary, and if you agree or disagree with my ranking list. Let me know, would love to know your opinion. And please like the video, subscribe to my channel. As I said, here in the channel we have 1 video per week on how to improve your English learning to make it more effective. So subscribe to do not miss the next content, and hopefully I'll see you in the next week. Peace!